Best
And we're
Xbox One.
back with even more Shacknews Awards deliberations. This time we're going to do the category of Best Xbox One Game of 2021. That system's still around too, and there are games that are kind of shipping cross-gen in this era on the Xbox platform. So there's actually a couple of games here that I think we're going to nominate. So who wants to get this kicked off?
I think it's harder to find Series X exclusives than it is Xbox One exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
But like in terms of games that shipped on Xbox One, I'm looking at Psychonauts 2, and that's a game that's been a long time coming. It's a charming little platformer. Absolutely love the characters. I love the humor in the game. I love the visual aesthetic that I mean, some people are saying like it's something that's kind of hasn't aged well, but I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of a charming little throwback at this point. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun with Psychonauts 2. I think Double Fine has made this game in such a way that it makes me want to go back and play the old one, which I never actually did. So yeah, I'm gonna throw my vote behind the single player Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, I think like the criticisms of Psychonauts 2 looking dated or whatever, a lot of Double Fine games weren't the best technology behind them when they shipped, you know? They are excellent storytellers. And I think Psychonauts 2 is a very good story. I think that the environment does a good job of telling the story as well. Yeah, I don't think it's that fair to ding it for, this was a game that's been in development for a while. And yeah, it may not look like Ratchet and Clank, but I've had more fun playing it, I would say.
Well, the funny thing is, and I know Ratchet and Clank is a PS5 exclusive, but like, if it was multi-platform, you would want to play Ratchet and Clank on the PS5 before ever touching it on PS4. With Psychonauts, you're not going to really see that much of a difference if you take it to the Series X. I think you would get just as much out of it if you played it on the Xbox One.
I honestly don't know if I'm seeing much of a difference playing it on PC versus Xbox One either. Like I think it's optimized for a lower spec hardware device than a lot of games that are coming out this year. But that actually makes it a perfect nomination for this because the Xbox One is old.
Definitely made for like the last generation of consoles for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was in development for so long. It obviously was never meant to like come out now. I guess you could say, not to diss it. It is. No. It's great for what it is. It looks way better than the original Psychonauts, which like it keeps that unique art style. But I actually like Psychonauts 2's art direction a lot more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want to shout out Lizette Montgomery because she's the art director for the game. She was also one of a few Black voices in gaming panels recently talking about the game and the creative direction. So I think she did an awesome job.
Yeah,
with making some changes to it here.
It's a beautiful game, and like just the environments they design, the places that you go, the crazy perspective changes that occur in the game. Yeah, it's really a standout game this year. So what else we got? Is someone gonna nominate Halo?
I'll throw Halo out there for Sam.
Who in their right mind wants to play Halo on an Xbox One?
Yeah, people stuck with an Xbox One.
Yeah, everybody who can't find a Series X or doesn't have a gaming PC, probably.
That's fair.
Yeah.
There's still a Series S in the middle there. That's still available.
And to Halo's credit, it scales very well down to the Xbox One spec. So, and it's
the reason I was going to say the reason I thought of it for this category, not only kind of by default, but Sam said in another deliberation that he played Halo Infinite on Xbox One and it ran fine, and you can have a great experience with that.
Yeah. No, that's going to be huge because there's people that, like my brother, for instance, huge Halo fan. I don't think he's going to buy a Series X anytime soon. So this is perfect for him, and especially that it's free to play. That's huge fan service there, especially for an established user base like the Xbox One, which has I think over 65 million units shipped. So that's like, for the health of Halo as a platform, it's very good that they did support the Xbox One with that game.
Absolutely.
It's also a good like full circle moment for the Xbox One, right? Because Halo 5 Guardians was very early Xbox One era, and now you kind of get the put that console to rest with in a much better Halo game, it seems.
Yeah.
And round it all out.
Maybe it's a little bit of an apology for Crackdown 3 and the last Gears game too.
Oof.
Look,
Blake, I'll have you know that Crackdown 3 is the third one. Okay.
yeah,
It's the third Crackdown game.
it was the third Crackdown.
That's true.
That's a very
That's
good
a nice
point,
throwback there.
And
David.
as
Very good
bad
point.
as
Anyone
Gears
who
5
watched-
was, it still looks a lot better than Halo Infinite.
Thank you. Gears 5
I like Gears 5.
is a love letter to the Unreal Engine, but it lacks. We're not here to talk.
Yeah. I do have a random surprise nominee.
Okay, go for it.
So this one's a bit out of left field, literally, but I'm going to go with MLB The Show 21, as it is de facto the greatest sports game to be released in the Xbox ecosystem in nearly 20 years.
And it was on Game
True.
Pass.
It was on Game Pass day one, which is kind of, is a big
That's
surprise.
wild. That was
And I
so
would
damn
say
wild.
since MVP 2005, this is probably the first time a good baseball game has been available for Xbox fans.
Yeah.
So that's going back to 2004, I guess.
Throwing shade at Super Mega Baseball, but I agree.
I love Super Mega Baseball, but this is the show.
Yeah, the show is. I don't know. I personally kind of just don't like Major League Baseball anymore. But yeah, you're right. This is that was a huge moment when they announced that the show was coming to Xbox, and it's weird to see like a PlayStation Studios logo on a game that's shipping on Game Pass of all places. But yeah, props to that team for shipping a game on Xbox.
That would be almost the most trolliest thing to vote a PlayStation Studios game for best Xbox One game.
Yeah, especially when they spend a lot of money to acquire Double Fine and a lot of other studios in the last few years. Yeah.
Yes, Sony.
TJ, you're working hard to convince me.
Psychonauts 2 is probably the game. I haven't played MLB, and I tried playing Halo Infinite, but not on an Xbox. But Psychonauts 2, I gotta say, we're talking about how it feels like a last gen game, and I feel like some of the gameplay
that's
is
not
also
it either.
No. But I do feel like the thing about it to me versus these other things is the gameplay feels more dated in Psychonauts 2 than these other two nominations, as far as I'm concerned.
No, they haven't done anything to MLB The Show to make it.
It
Feel
is the last gen on both consoles.
Yeah, that's nothing.
But there's
MLB
not really
The
a
Show
lot.
is literally the same game. It looks very nice.
Yeah,
It
but there's
plays
not
very
really a lot to improve on when it comes
Exactly.
to MLB The Show
It's-
because it's already really good.
nice. That's my point, though. I don't think it's a fair criticism of Psychonauts to claim that it's somehow more dated in gameplay than a sports franchise that's been the same for a decade. You know,
The show not doing anything year to year is not the same as Madden not doing anything year to year. One is much
the
better
show's
than the
actually
other.
good. No, I agree. I'm not saying the show's a bad game. I'm just saying if we're gonna criticize innovation and gameplay, I don't think that the show should be used as an argument for that. And honestly, Halo either. Halo's pretty
Halo's
formulaic still.
Halo is Halo.
Yeah, they got it right, but it's still there is a formula to getting
You
Halo
can
right.
have
Just waiting
bad
for
Halo.
Sam
though.
to jump in here. Just
You can
he's
The
gonna
definitely
get.
get-
campaign of Halo Infinite is just the second level of the first Halo game, expanded a
is.
little bit.
It is. You're right.
Mhm.
They took the second level.
They promised us biomes and they lied.
Sam's not going to be happy about this at all.
Promised us bio.
That's what I'm saying, Donovan. If we're not careful, Sam's just gonna pop up because he's gonna sense
Yeah. He's
He's
something
gonna hear
wrong.
us talking about Halo.
Yeah.
I can
Deep
feel
in its-
Sam's Arthur fist just clenching.
Yeah.
Say his
Right now.
name 3 times and it'll pop up like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, for real. Are there any other nominations for this? I think 3 is a good number for this.
I don't think any of us expected more than one.
I'm impressed. Way to go, team. We figured out 3 games that shipped on Xbox One this year.
Genuinely
Now-
feel better about this than PS4 though somehow.
And we had 5 titles for the PS4 that we were voting on.
And better third-party choices on PS4 too.
Yeah, I mean,
My
that's-
favorite part of these two consoles this year was I didn't have to hear them turn on finally. See you later, Xbox One and PS4.
I love how silent the Series X is on its launch.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, let's vote. I'll start with David.
I had nominated Halo, but the arguments for Psychonauts 2 really swayed me. I think that game, and just the first game as well, mean a lot to me for the same reason Celeste did. Like, it is fun, but also just the allegories and metaphors about mental health hit home.
Mm-hmm. And they even, I really like the disclaimer at the beginning of Psychonauts 2.
Yeah,
It's like, hey, we're going to talk about some real stuff here. There's also a lot of teeth. So if you're afraid of teeth and dentists, you don't want to play this game. And if you are concerned about how mental health discussions, could affect you, don't play this game. I liked that they did that. It's a respectful thing to the topics that they're discussing in that game. Denny, who you got?
Yeah, Chris kind of convinced me with MLB, but I gotta go with Psychonauts 2 because I feel like it being accessible on Xbox One and the other consoles, I feel like there's gonna be more Halo and there's gonna be more MLB, but I feel like something like Psychonauts isn't gonna happen without the right team of people coming together for some this kind of project. So, and they pulled it off. So I'm going with that one.
Nice. Donovan, you gonna vote for Halo?
Now I'll go with the Psychonauts 2.
Greg.
Yeah, it's Psychonauts 2, and I'm gonna die on a few of the hills for that game because that game is such a fantastic game on all levels.
It's really polished and fun, and like I said, it's one of the best stories I think this year.
Well, it harkens back to like how games used to be. Like, it was just a game that you played through and you had collectibles, and then when you beat it, like, you could be done or beat it again. Like, it wasn't a live service, it wasn't online. Like, it was, I don't know, it makes me think about old school games, how they used to be before everything had to be a live service.
And it just feels like Double Fine games don't forget like their core DNA of a balance of gameplay was never the focus of a Double Fine game or a LucasArts game. Like, it was the storytelling and the discovery and the puzzle solving and stuff. And I feel like Psychonauts has been an evolution of those things.
Save some of those bullet points for later, Greg. There's gonna be plenty of Psychonauts 2 to talk about down the road.
all these newfangled games with these kids on my lawn.
Yeah, seriously, you're sounding like you're older than me.
Yeah.
TJ, who you got in this fight?
I really want to vote for MLB The Show because of the point I brought up earlier.
It'd just be funny.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, that'd be amusing.
That would be amazing. Do it, TJ.
Yeah, I'm going to do it because I will argue for Psychonauts 2 in a lot of other ways later. I'm voting for MLB The Show.
There's it first. Ozzy, what you got?
There are games that I would rather play on Series X first before anything else, but Psychonauts 2 is something that I can go on either one, so I'm going to go Psychonauts 2.
Okay, it's getting very close to clinching its win here. Bill.
It's probably already decided, but I was very serious when TJ's point swayed me instantly, so I'm going to throw a bone over to MLB. In the spirit of TJ's point.
Okay, and we got Blake now. What are you gonna do?
Oh man, no, MLB The Show, man.
Chris, are you staying with MLB The Show?
I'm staying with MLB The Show.
Oh wow, so this puts it on me, huh?
Like,
we're gonna have to get Sam in here.
That won't change the damn thing.
No. He will vote Halo, he'll be vetoed, and he'll have to re-vote.
He can't vote on... Okay, I'm going to vote for MLB The Show because I just want chaos.
You want to...
It feels good, doesn't it, Asif? Like, when you completely turn a category on its head, it feels good, man.
I just did it.
Feels real good.
5-5 tie right now, and we know that Sam would have voted for Halo. We need Sam's input. MLB The Show or Psychonauts 2? And I'm guessing Bill is on Slack with him right now.
I certainly am.
Oh boy.
What just happened here?
Something amazing. We should bring him in. We might have to bring him in to hear some of the cases, because I feel like if he understands like how amazing an MLB The Show win would be here, for like
we
the
might have
best
to
game.
explain the concept of baseball to him. I'm not even sure.
That's true.
He's like,
They
is that
play
like cricket?
baseball in Australia, I think.
Is
No,
that
they have
like cricket?
And
Just tell him it's
apparently
cricket.
the founder of Bitcoin's Australian.
Yeah, rugby.
Cricket
right.
and rugby.
Sam,
Hello.
you've come
Hello.
at the perfect time, sir.
Okay.
So we're in a situation, Sam.
What's the sitch?
It's best Xbox One game of the year 2021.
Oh my goodness.
I hate to inform you that Halo Infinite received 0 votes. but
Okay,
there was
that's
a
surprising.
tie.
It was also
a
smack
tie.
talked.
There was
Okay.
a tie between MLB The Show and
Okay.
Psychonauts 2. And we're thinking that giving
That's
this
so
award to
funny.
we're thinking it'd be pretty amusing to give PlayStation an award for the best Xbox One game. Is really what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
what would
And it's
happen if
actually a
MLB
very
The Show
good
won.
game. MLB The Show, first year on the Xbox. It's kind of a big deal.
And
And
on
then
Game
there's
Pass,
also
if,
Psychonauts 2, which is a great game.
and on Game Pass, if I'm not mistaken.
And on Game Pass, you're right.
They are both on Game Pass.
Game Pass Brothers.
Oh man,
It's tough,
Sam,
isn't it?
I'm gonna
We
have
know
to.
you love baseball, Sam.
Everything
It's
is
Australian
apple pie.
It's as Australian as apple pie.
Think of all the hard work Double Fine put into
Imagine
this
it's
game, Sam.
like cricket, but with less guns.
Psychonauts 2 is a great game with some great themes, you know?
It's
That
a
is
banger.
true. That is true. But I mean, Psychonauts 2. I think that's up for some other
Yeah,
it's gonna
noms,
get-
and like.
Yes, it'll probably be in our top 10.
Yeah.
Oh
Do it. Give Sony the best game on the Xbox Award, Sam.
Take us
Do
out
it.
What
to the
does your
ball game,
heart-
Sam.
What does your heart tell you?
My heart tells me that MLB The Show is the first time it's on Xbox.
Yep.
And Psychonauts 2 is a fantastic Xbox game. I'm gonna have to go with MLB The Show. Like
Oh my God.
that's a
Yes!
a history first. Like
Total
it's
chaos.
like
Things are
We
setting on
chose
fire now.
violence today.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
PlayStation Studios.
You did it.
Congratulations.
That's the best.
You did it.
We haven't had turmoil like this since Death Stranding.
Okay.
Oh my God.
There it is. In one of the closest votes we've had during these deliberations in 2021. MLB The Show. PlayStation Studios. MLB The Show has won the best Xbox One game of 2021 Shacknews Award.
Oh my
It is
goodness.
decided.
Gavel.